In the shadows of the One Piece world, beyond the reach of pirates and marines alike, sits a figure so mysterious that even mentioning their name is forbidden in most circles. A silhouette on an empty throne that was never meant to be occupied. What if I told you that everything we know about the history of One Piece, the Void Century, the Ancient Kingdom, even the Will of D, was carefully crafted by this single entity? What if the greatest lie in the series wasn't told by a pirate, but by the very institution claiming to protect the world? Today, we're diving into the darkest mystery of One Piece, the true identity of IMU, the shadow ruler of the world government, and how this enigmatic figure connects to the forbidden history of the Void Century. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to One Piece Secrets for more mind-blowing theories that will change how you see the series forever. Now let's uncover the truth that's been hidden for 800 years. Let's start with what we actually know about IMU from the manga. First revealed during the Leverly arc, IMU is the secret sovereign of the world government, a figure so powerful that even the five elders bow before them. While the world believes no single person rules from the empty throne, this is a carefully maintained lie. IMU has demonstrated particular interest in four characters: Monkey D. Luffy, Marshall D. Teach, Princess Shirahoshi, and Nefertari Vivi. We've seen IMU holding pictures of these individuals, even stabbing through some of them, a chilling indication of their intentions. What makes IMU truly terrifying is their demonstrated power. We've witnessed them telepathically communicating with the five elders, possessing individuals across vast distances, and most horrifyingly, completely obliterating entire islands with a mysterious power called the Abyss. This isn't just political power, this is godlike destruction on a scale that dwarfs even the ancient weapons. Perhaps most telling is IMU's connection to the clan of D. When questioned about the meaning of D, IMU referred to it as the moniker of the government's ancient enemy. This single statement confirms that IMU has direct knowledge of events from at least 800 years ago, the Forbidden Void Century. To understand IMU, we must first understand the Void Century, that 100-year period from 900 to 800 years ago, that the world government has erased from history. During this time, there existed a powerful civilization known as the Great Kingdom. This kingdom possessed advanced technology, a progressive ideology, and possibly the three ancient weapons: Pluton, Poseidon, and Uranus. For reasons still unknown, this kingdom was opposed by an alliance of 20 other kingdoms. The war ended with the Great Kingdom's defeat, and the victorious alliance formed what we now know as the world government. All records of this period were destroyed, except for the indestructible poneglyphs created by the people of Wano. We also know that a figure named Joy Boy lived during this period, and made a promise to the original Poseidon that he failed to keep. The Will of D seems connected to Joy Boy and the Great Kingdom, with carriers of this initial appearing throughout history as natural enemies of the celestial dragons. Here's where it gets interesting. If IMU knows the meaning of D and refers to them as ancient enemies, this strongly suggests IMU was personally involved in these events, not just aware of them, actively participating in them. This means IMU has either lived for over 800 years or has access to knowledge that even the five elders don't possess. But what exactly is IMU? Let's explore the most compelling theories. The first major theory is that IMU is not human at all, but a literal god or supernatural entity, specifically the god of darkness or chaos. One Piece has established that gods exist within its world. The five elders themselves are named after planetary deities: Saint Topman Warcury, Mercury; Saint Ethan Baron V, Nosuro, Venus; Saint Marcus Mars, Mars; Saint Shepherd Jupiter, Jupiter; and Saint Jagarcia, Saturn, Saturn. Luffy possesses the Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, making him the embodiment of the sun god. If Luffy represents the sun, light, and freedom, then it would make perfect narrative sense for his ultimate opponent to represent darkness, void, and control. This theory suggests Imu possesses a devil fruit that grants control over nothingness or chaos, perhaps a mythical Zoan like Luffy's, but representing the opposite force. This would explain why Imu is always shown in silhouette. They literally embody the void itself. The evidence for this theory comes from Imu's demonstrated powers. The ability to completely erase islands doesn't align with any known devil fruit. It's a power that seems almost primordial, the antithesis of creation. If Imu is indeed a god of chaos, this would explain their immortality, their supreme position, above even the celestial dragons, and why they remain hidden. After all, the world government's founding principle was that no single person should rule the world, but a god would be the exception to this rule. The second major theory proposes that Imu is human, specifically Nerona Imu, one of the original founders of the world government from 800 years ago. Recent manga chapters have revealed that Imu's full name is Saint Nerona Imu, confirming their connection to one of the 20 founding kingdoms. But how could a human live for 800 years? The answer might lie with the Ope Ope no Mi's ultimate technique, the Perennial Youth Surgery. This operation grants eternal youth to its recipient at the cost of the user's life. While we know law possesses this fruit now, it has existed for centuries, and previous users could have performed this surgery on Imu. This would explain Imu's longevity while maintaining their human status. It would also explain why Imu remains hidden. They are living proof that the world government's founding story is a lie. The celestial dragons claim divine right to rule based on their ancestors' actions. But if one of those ancestors is still alive and pulling the strings, it undermines their entire power structure. The evidence for this theory comes from Imu's apparent familiarity with Nefertari D. Lily, another founder from 800 years ago, and their continued interest in her descendant, Vivi. It suggests a personal connection that has lasted through the centuries. If Imu is indeed the architect of the Great Kingdom's destruction and the subsequent cover-up of the Void Century, their continued existence ensures that the truth they established remains unchallenged. A third compelling theory is that Imu represents Mother Nature herself, the embodiment of the earth in the celestial system established in one piece. As mentioned earlier, the 5 elders are named after planets. The ancient weapons follow the same pattern: Uranus, Poseidon, Neptune, and Pluto. Luffy, as the sun god Nika, represents the sun at the center of this system. This leaves Earth unaccounted for unless Imu fills this role. The theory suggests that Imu is the personification of the planet itself, with power over natural forces and the ability to reshape the world as they see fit. This would explain Imu's ability to cause catastrophic destruction through the abyss. It's not a weapon or devil fruit power, but control over the planet's natural forces. Earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, all could be manifestations of Imu's will. The evidence for this theory comes from the planetary naming pattern and Imu's demonstrated powers. It also explains why Imu would oppose the will of D if the carriers represent change and freedom. They threaten the natural order that Imu embodies and maintains. Our fourth major theory connects Imu to the moon, a celestial body that has mysterious significance in one piece. Here's something fascinating. Imu, spelled backward, is Umi, which means sea in Japanese. The moon controls the tides of the sea through gravitational pull. Could this wordplay be Oda's hint at Imu's true nature? We know from Enel's cover story that the moon once housed an advanced civilization that later migrated to Earth. The Lunarians, Minks, and possibly other races have connections to this lunar heritage. The moon is also associated with advanced technology that resembles what we might expect from the ancient kingdom. This theory suggests that Immu is either from the moon or has a connection to its power and knowledge. Perhaps Immu was the reason the lunar civilization fell, and they later brought this same destruction to the Great Kingdom during the Void Century. The evidence comes from the naming wordplay, the mysterious lunar civilization, and the recurring moon symbolism throughout One Piece. It would also explain Immu'S seemingly otherworldly powers and knowledge. Regardless of which theory is correct about Immu'S identity, a bigger question remains. What is Immu'S ultimate goal? Immu has shown interest in eliminating certain individuals, particularly those who might disrupt the world order. But there seems to be a larger plan at work. The empty throne itself might be more than symbolic. It could be a key to some ancient power or knowledge. I believe Immu'S ultimate goal relates to the nature of the One Piece treasure itself. What if the treasure isn't just wealth or knowledge, but a power that could reshape reality? What if Immu has been protecting or preventing access to this power for 800 years? The Void Century likely ended with more than just the defeat of the Great Kingdom. Something catastrophic happened, something so terrible that all records were destroyed. Perhaps Immu was responsible for this event, or perhaps they are preventing it from happening again. The ancient weapons, the will of D, the empty throne, and the One Piece itself, all these elements converge around Immu and the truth they've kept hidden for centuries. As One Piece approaches its conclusion, it seems inevitable that Luffy and Immu will eventually confront each other. This won't just be a battle between a pirate and the world's ruler. It will be a clash between fundamental forces. If Luffy represents the dawn of the world, the new era of freedom that Joy Boy promised, then Immu represents the endless night that has engulfed the world for 800 years. Their confrontation will determine whether the sun rises on a new world or whether darkness continues to reign. The will of D has been described as those who bring storms wherever they go. Perhaps this storm is finally gathering to wash away the lies of the Void Century and reveal the truth that Immu has kept hidden for so long. What do you think? Is Immu a god? An immortal human? The embodiment of nature, or something connected to the moon? Or is there another explanation entirely? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into One Piece lore, make sure to like this video, subscribe to One Piece Secrets, and hit the notification bell to never miss our upcoming theories. Next week, we'll be exploring the true nature of the One Piece treasure itself, so you won't want to miss it. This is One Piece Secrets, uncovering the mysteries that others miss. Until next time, keep searching for the truth hidden in plain sight.